I was at work when the Dark and Darker patch dropped. It didn't take long for the Reddit and YouTube posts to come through complaining about the changes. I thought, before I judge any of the main patch notes, I'll play a little bit and see for myself. My first thought was a love-hate relationship. My second thought, well, almost pure love. The random goblin caves, the removal of bunny hopping, hot swapping, more hardcore high roller experience, a circle enclosing you, forcing more fights and a harder survival. And most talked about of all, no gear being bought back. First, let's talk about the random goblin caves. I think it was a great idea and it gives it a new fresh experience. Personally, Goblin Caves is probably 90% of the map that I play, between ruins and ice caves. So any changes really do have quite a big effect. And I personally really like this one. Ended up catching this guy at a bad time. Nice little 3-piece. And this guy had pretty decent gear. So we'll just go ahead and lift this up. And loot up the other guy he killed, who had pretty much nothing. And that sums up our first game. Next, we'll go ahead and talk about the bunny hopping. Now, personally, as you can see, I am a barbarian main. I'm a level 202, and then I also have a second barb character, level 53. Bunny hopping is probably one of the biggest problems I have between that and I would say probably used to be druids, but figured out how to kind of deal with them. So honestly, I don't really have a class that I have a problem with anymore. Looks like the game's pretty balanced. Now, the removal of hot swapping as well for, I believe, just warlocks, maybe druids too. I'm not too sure. I think that was a good change as well. I think hot swapping was a little cheesy, and personally, I think that was a great patch. Now we bait this guy into using a heal pot and then just run into him, who had, again, pretty nice gear as well, and just get some easy profit. Moving on to the next game and moving on to the next topic as well. More hardcore high roller experience. I think the changes that they're doing so far are leaning towards that. You have either the Goblin Merchant no longer returning gear, which I think is a good change as well. I think people were a little too willy-nilly in High Roller, hoping that they could just get their kits back if they died to mobs or whatever in like a corner of the map. Or also just getting these crazy good kits back for just insanely cheap. I think it was a good change, and quick pause here, we end up running into this guy, which was pretty interesting. I don't really know what this was about, but quite the laugh. And then you have the other changes, such as the closing circle, I think is good as well. It forces more fights, brings more people closer to a certain area. The random portals as well, just having to search for them, I think, are all just great changes. Now, I don't normally do this, just sitting here in the dark, but I can already see the comments. Oh, this guy's just camping. Alright, alright. I ended up hearing this guy and got a lucky Franny. What are the chances? What are the chances? He is shit. He is shit on. Now I'm just going to let this play out to kind of show how the patch works. I feel like this is just a prime example. Now the fighter just gave the druid no chance of escaping, so the druid is dead here. And I mean, that just goes to show that in this patch you just either A, don't want to be leaving at the last minute or two, or either geared enough to survive, or not geared at all to not care about it. Now this guy just ends up walking past me, which is kind of hilarious. Oh, this was a long fight. Probably played a lot more scared than he needed to, as soon as he did like one hit to me. And without spoiling it, drum roll please. 2 quarterstaffs. Interesting. Oh. Base gear, that's why. So I mean, all in all, personally, my opinions on the patch are that I find it incredible. I think they're making some great changes. The only thing I really hope that they don't remove is solos and duos. Personally, I'm probably a 80-90% solo player, so them removing it will just really be a bummer. And personally, I'll probably just stop playing. I mean, as bad as that would feel, Dark of Dark is probably my most played game right now. And just them taking away solos will just kind of make me lose the interest, so. But other than that, that was kind of my thoughts on the patch. Let me know what you guys think and if you guys agree, but I'll just let this last fight play out, and until then, see ya.